caramel popcorns, though unsalted, because the salt comes from the Stan Wars that they want to witness. I watched the Grammys because I thought that if I were to make a music channel, I should keep up with these things, and I feel like they did a lot of things right this year, like awarding a more variety of people instead of having the big four sweep or hearing the same names win every year. However, it's not lost on me that they awarded Best Reggae Album to a fully white band from Virginia, and they called Virgil Abloh, who was the menswear artistic director for LV, Louis Vuitton, a hip-hop fashion designer. Like, I'm pretty sure a lot of people, most people in the hall own an LV. So it's like he deserves the recognition. But speaking of recognition, let's talk about the pop duo Doja and SZA's song, as well as Jasmine Sullivan's album winning. I feel like this year's Grammys was kind of black people's year, and it was about time the Recording Academy acknowledged their hard work and talent. I feel like the changes this year were enabled by the changes in the voting mechanisms. Basically, if I understand correctly, instead of having this secret nominations review committee of 15 to 30 people, they now have peer-to-peer majority voting, which means that people who do work in that industry as songwriters, producers, DJs, and engineers, etc. will vote, and the majority voted nominee wins. You know, all was good, and well, when I was watching the Grammys, well, technically I didn't watch the Grammys because I don't live in the US and I had to follow updates on Twitter instead. So I didn't watch the Grammys, but I watched the Grammys premiere that was live on YouTube, where they awarded less popular and mainstream celebrities and award categories like rock, rap, metal, and even musicals, children's songs, visual media music, etc. Which is unfortunate because their names don't get to go out there on music's biggest night. But I do feel like getting a Grammy in itself makes them really proud and happy already, and you can hear it in their voices. For instance, there is an unofficial Bridgerton musical made by two girls starting from TikTok, and they won the award over Andrew Lloyd Webber, a guy who is known for his Phantom of the Opera musical. But what I have to say about the unofficial Bridgerton musical though is that I don't like Bridgerton. I thought the writing was a little cringy, but I was listening to some Broadway musical playlist quite a while ago, and I skipped almost every song until I landed on this one banger. I was like, which Hamilton song is this? Fast forward to me googling the unofficial Bridgerton musical to see if it's any good after they won a Grammy. I was brought back to the banger called Burn For You. But I can kind of see why Grammys make a separate event for the more popular celebrities. It's just like when you're watching a YouTube video and suddenly something you don't care about comes up. You're more likely to be bored, and I think the Grammy viewers just don't want to be bored. They want drama and seeing people they like. You know, stans just want to see their faves. And I feel like it's unfortunate because whenever the Grammys doesn't have drama, people just ignore it and give low ratings, so the Grammys would have to make some. Like, I felt like in the moment of watching the Grammys and some videos surrounding it, like Doja Cat running from the toilet to get her award, there wasn't even anything too deep or reactionary I felt about it. Like, the Grammys weren't so chaotic to me. But then I see people posting videos and legit having to make it negative, or having to make videos with the tone of the skull emoji, like LMAO I'm dead or LMAO catastrophic Grammys. Like, there's never a moment of peace or neutral emotions. Alright, because that's boring. Speaking of boring, some people wanted to munch on their jumbo caramel popcorns, though unsalted, because the salt comes from the Stan Wars that they want to witness. That's right, I'm gonna talk about Album of the Year. Personally, I thought Planet Her was gonna win because it was seemingly everywhere. I didn't have any particular album that I wanted to win, but Stans did, and when it was announced that none of the Stans and Fighting Stans' albums won, a lot of people's first reactions was, who the F is John Batiste? All the responses were like this. The worst thing I saw were stans who called him a flop and go out of their way to debate and prove it with Metacritic rating screenshots under a tweet that said, "Look, if there's anything I learned from the 2022 Oscars, it's that Twitter is not real. Should have known. And whatever canceling landslide Twitter seems to go on doesn't take effect. Just give it a few days. And you know, worse yet, some things they spread aren't even true. Besides the fact that Twitter isn't real, it kind of stressed me out that instead of being open-minded to new music, people are out here being like, who is Jon Batiste? I feel like stan culture especially is looking at the music industry through a narrow hole with a high school mentality looking glass, only seeing the few popular celebrities and albums as the entire industry, when other people would be booked and busy, perhaps having a degree and a master's in music and jazz studies respectively, and winning an Oscar just a week ago. Oh my gosh, wait, that's Jon Batiste. The disrespect and dismissal of Jon Batiste and his achievements were out of this world. Like, how and why can some people be so extremely absorbed with top celebrities? Like in a normal world, somewhere not so dystopian that they want to blur the lines between the real world and the internet, won't you just be surprised and proceed to check out his album? Then have a say about his album? Jon wasn't the only unknown who got Album of the Year before. There was somebody in 2019 who won Album of the Year and received a who? The F is Casey Musgraves. That's right, it's Casey Musgraves, winning with her Golden Hour country album. And some parts of me believes that the initial reaction wasn't as much as what Jon received, even though it's the same, because stan culture has not rise to the extreme it is in 2022, and country music is generally more palatable than jazz commercially. I listened to the We Are album and I can comment on how the music moves you both emotionally and physically, and doing so with jazz is powerful. It's not just a jazz album. I believe it was a mix of genres with American roots, R&B, rap, gospel, etc. On the surface level, this album seems to be a well-produced album that's just feel good, and people criticize it for being shallow optimism, but I can say that the jazz aspect is well composed because I never understood jazz, but I understood what the jazz was trying to do here. The fact that he can make some advanced stuff but still make it understandable and palatable is great. But under the danceable and cheery music is, to the more knowledgeable audience, something culturally significant about the album, where some people point out that it blends white and black culture well, and that it was a celebration of black culture and music. And Jon Batiste himself said songs like Cry were a reclamation of certain music genres like Southern rock. The more I look into it, the more I'm like, innovative mix of genres? That sounds like Billie Eilish. She's praised for that, but when it isn't pop, it seems like people find it harder to appreciate. Anyways, I wrote like 5 whole A5 pages of my reactions to this stan Twitter shenanigans, and I just wish people would actually be open-minded to discover new music, because after people listen to Golden Hour by Casey Musgraves, they're saying, I see why this won AOTY, or now this is one of my fave albums / singers, so why not allow Jon Batiste to receive that reception as well? I must say that most people who listen to the album did think so. Some people disagree, and that's okay, but not to the point of disrespectfulness. Point is, a lot of music exists in this world, not just Doja, Billie, Ariana, and Taylor. Why can't we respect someone even if we haven't heard of them before? That's all for the video. Thank you for watching. An introduction to my channel, I started doing comedic songs and I have a few parodies in mind, but I also want to do some basic music education stuff and video essays, but also music stuff that is entertaining to the general public, like Rumi Official. That's a lot, but I'll most probably be doing more comedy stuff first, then segue my channel into longer videos because I'm going for that YouTube growth. But this is the first sprinkle of longer commentary videos I'm introducing to build familiarity in my garden of shorter funny videos. And also, if you're new here, I invite you to subscribe only after you watch at least 3 videos, because I want you to thoroughly enjoy my channel if you're gonna sub. I think that if it keeps coming back, then the subscribe will hold more worth and benefit, not just for your notifications, but also for my growth and YouTube algorithm. Bye!